Hey guys, my name is Nick. I'm 32 years old, and today I want to talk to you about my TRT journey. There's a few reasons why I wanted to do this. The first one is it just makes me feel better talking about it because this is something that I went through that I don't really talk to anybody about for obvious reasons. And two, I feel there might be people out there who may have gone through or are going through what I have gone through. And I think it might help people to know that they're not alone and that there's others experiencing the same thing. We're all fighting through these things together, and hopefully we can help each other out by just listening to each other and supporting each other. So, as I had mentioned, I'm 32 years old. I actually just did my first testosterone injection a few days ago. So that's great news that I'm finally being treated for a problem I've had for a while. And the focus of this discussion isn't necessarily what I'm doing now or um, what I expect to get out of it. Really, it's more so about how I got here and what were the things that I had to go through to get here today. Um, this has actually been almost a 5, maybe 6 year journey for me. Lots of pain, frustration, relationship issues, you name it. It hasn't been easy. So I'll kind of walk you through the earlier days, so my mid 20s. Things were pretty good. Really didn't have any issues. I was athletic, playing a lot of sports like any good Canadian, playing hockey all the time. I didn't really drink heavily, didn't do drugs, and my diet was pretty good. I was a pretty active kid. Around 25, 26, I started running into issues with, well, I'm sure you could guess, erections, those kind of things. And it definitely had an effect. When you're that age, you don't expect to have those kind of issues. When they happen, you're just like, oh, well, what the hell? Why would that happen? I couldn't keep it up or I couldn't get going, whatever it may be. And you're just wondering, well, what was that about? Did I not get a good sleep? Have I been eating poorly? Did I train too hard the day before? All these things ran through my mind and I didn't really know what was causing it. It got to the point where almost, 50% of my attempts would fail. And obviously, if you have a girlfriend or have a relationship with somebody, that's going to cause issues. Nobody likes that. So that went on for a little while, and I finally said to myself, okay, I got to go to a doctor. This is getting ridiculous. This shouldn't be happening to me. I'm doing everything right. I don't know why this is happening. So I went to a walk in clinic, explained to the doctor what was going on, and he basically just said, look, man, it's probably in your head. You might want to try some meditation or um, get over your performance anxiety in some way. And, don't worry, you're stressed out. That's why it's happening. So anyway, basically said it was in my head. It wasn't anything wrong with me given my age. It was unlikely to be, um, anything physically wrong with me. So I left and I said, okay, well, maybe he's right. So what did I do? Well, I tried meditation. I tried getting better sleep. I tried talking to my girlfriend at the time about it in hopes that it would alleviate some of the theoretical performance anxiety or whatever may be going on, just to kind of get it out in the open. Those things were all great, but they didn't really have an impact on me. Things slowly started to get a little bit worse. As I had mentioned earlier, my first symptom was unable to maintain or get an erection. kind of progressed to the point where, to be honest with you, everything felt like a chore. Sex felt like a chore. I kind of didn't even want to do it. I didn't have any desire. There were times when I was just happy to get it over with. It wasn't even enjoyable anymore. And when I started thinking these things, after a while, I realized, like, why something's not right. Something's not right in my head because this doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody my age have these issues? I was probably about 27, 28 at the time. It didn't make any sense. And I was at a loss. Like I said, I tried dieting right, eating right, working out, getting better sleep. I tried all of these different supplements like maca powder, ashwagandha, what else? Just regular vitamins, um, fish oils, everything I could possibly think of that could help. Again, didn't really have much of an impact on this. So something was definitely wrong. I went to my family doctor, kind of explained the situation, and she agreed to do a blood test. It took a little bit of convincing, but she did agree to test my testosterone levels, even though I was, still in my late 20s. I wasn't in my 30s yet. So she tested it, got my results, came back, and let's see what the blood results were here. So in 2016, taken first thing in the morning, my results were 300 ng per DL. I'm not exactly sure what those mean, but that was my result. And basically, the low end of the range is 242. And I think it goes up to like 1,000. So I'm at 305, and the low end of the range is 242. So I was definitely low end of the range. My doctor said, hey, you look good. Blood work looks great. There's really nothing I can do for you. Everything's in normal range. So I left, obviously kind of disappointed, say, well, my blood works fine. I'm eating right. I'm lifting, I'm active, all that good stuff. I don't know what could be causing it. So anyway, go home. Over the next couple of months, I'm just constantly researching online what's going on. Um, was my blood test result abnormal? Was it normal? You read all these things on the internet. Some people say it's fine. Some people say, hey, you're lower end of the range, and at your age, you should be closer to 700, 800. 305 is almost like an old man, etc., etc. So again, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. Um, Obviously, at this point, I had been with my girlfriend for a while. I'm so lucky that she stuck with me through all this shit. Because it had gone on for many, many years, and she had stuck by me throughout. Not to say that didn't cause a lot of issues and a lot of relationship, troubles along the way, because of course, even though it's not my fault, it's definitely frustrating for her. It's something that she has to deal with as well. She's always wondering, hey, is it he doesn't like me, doesn't love me, am I not attracted to him anymore? Is it me? Whatever. So again, there's things going through her head, and it was definitely tough for her too. Um, so obviously at this point, things were straining, things were tough, and again, that just makes the whole situation worse. So anyway, I spent a couple months doing some research, trying to find out, what's my next move. After a few months, I decided, okay, look, I think testosterone might actually be my issue, even though it's technically in the normal range. So I knew my family doctor was a dead end. So I went to a walk-in clinic and got a blood test done there. So the doctor explained it, convinced him to get the testosterone, include that on the blood test, and he did, which is awesome. And then he agreed that, if it comes back low, I'll refer you to a specialist. I said, okay, great. So we do the blood test, and like I had mentioned before, the bottom end of the range was 242, and basically my testosterone levels came in at 242, exactly on the dot. It was kind of unreal. I was surprised. So I'm like, okay, this is great news. This is great news. Maybe this is it, right? This could be the blood test result that convinces the doctor that I need help. So I go in for the follow up, and he's like, "Look, we got your blood test results back. It's pretty low, so I'm going to refer you to a specialist." So I'm like, "Yes, thank you so much. That means so much to me. Finally." So about 3-4 months later, I go to the specialist. I think it was an endocrinologist. Kind of explain the situation, what I've been going through. Um, I showed him my old blood test, and he said, "Okay, let's see how things go. Let's do another blood test. We'll get everything tested. I will do a full blood panel, and we'll go from there." So we do a blood panel, and what happens? Well, I'm back at around 300 again. So what does he say? He says, "Look, Nick, you're young. I can't really give you anything. I can't prescribe you something. I can't prescribe you testosterone. It's very dangerous. At your age, it's not the best idea. It can have negative health effects. Um, and plus, your testosterone's in the normal range, right? You're fine. It can't be that." So obviously, I was extremely upset, and he had said, "I can give you a prescription for Viagra," and I kind of looked at him and I said, "Doctor, I appreciate you trying to help, but don't you think there's a problem if a 28-year-old needs Viagra? Like, does that not? I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe he knew, but maybe he just didn't want to treat me because of my age." And again, I totally understand that line of thinking. The last thing somebody wants to do is, try to help somebody and end up causing more problems down the road. I totally understand. Um, anyway, so I left. No answers once again. Very upset. Obviously my wife the whole time, she knows I have these appointments, and she's always so excited that they're coming up. And every time the appointment's done, she's calling me, messaging me, saying, "Hey, when you get out, give me a call. Let me know how it goes." So of course I got to give her the bad news. Say, "Look, they just said good luck. You're on your own still." And but good news, they gave me a prescription for Viagra, so we can have some fun, right? Um, so obviously she was pretty upset about that, and at this point I was really upset. I pretty much had given up. I was probably about, I don't know how old I was. It was taken early 2018, so um, I was 30, and married at this point. I pretty much gave up. I didn't know what else to do, and for the rest of the year I really didn't do anything. But the problem just kept getting worse. It actually got much worse. When I had first said, it got to the point where, um, you know, 50% of the time I maintain my erections, whatever, get erection. It got even worse. It was like, it's like I'm batting 250, which is, maybe in baseball that's okay, but when we're talking about, bedroom stuff, that's not what you want. Um, so things were getting strained, really strained in my relationship with my wife. And she had been supportive all the way through. And I think we both have had kind of hit a limit where we both hated the situation we were in, but that we had given up. There was really nothing else that we could think of that we can do. We've tried going to a couple specialists, didn't work. So at that point we were kind of just throw our hands up. And at this point for me, we're talking about a lot of below the belt stuff in terms of my symptoms at the time, but over time, it again, I had mentioned I was pretty athletic. Over time in the gym, I couldn't lift as much weight. My body didn't look as good. I was putting on fat. It was very hard to lose it. And when I would try to lose fat, I would feel like I would just lose muscle. And when I would try to gain muscle, I felt like I was just putting on fat. Everything was a disaster. So, um, my sleep sucked. Um, my gym performance sucked. My physical appearance sucked. Um, everything in the bedroom sucked. And again, it wasn't just the performance that sucked. I didn't have any desire whatsoever to do anything. And as all you guys will know, at that age, when you're looking around, you see a girl, you see a woman anywhere, and you're like, wow, like, she's good, looking good, right? That's supposed to just do something to you, right? Something at all. But for me, I was just like, whatever, whatever. My wife wants to have sex. I guess I'll do it just to get it over with so I can go to bed after. You know what I mean? Like, that's so terrible to say, but that's how I felt. And I knew feeling that was completely wrong and I should not feel that way, but I couldn't control it. My brain said I should want to do XYZ, but my body didn't agree at all. And it's scary, actually. It was unreal. There's no morning wood, nothing at all. Everything was completely shut down. It felt like, as I had mentioned, things in the relationship weren't going very well. So it got to the point where I said, okay, you know what? I can't give up. I got to try one more time. I was doing some research. I ended up finding a clinic that could take me, but I needed a referral. So I went to a walk-in clinic, got the referral. I think they had sympathy for me. So they referred me to the specialist again. And I should mention that in Canada, it's not like the United States or some other countries where, you could just pay and go to a TRT clinic and just pay out of pocket or something like that. Basically, in Canada, because everything is socialized medicine, you're really not going to get treated for something unless you're getting referrals for it. Um, and no one's going to say, hey, I'll give you whatever you want as long as you pay me X dollars a month. Like, it doesn't really work that way. It's more, you really need to have a justification for something. And that's kind of the only way to go. I was reading that there are some like TRT clinics similar to in the US, but I had never been able to find one in my area. And I had emailed a few and they said, look, we only treat people over 35. So right there, like, I'm off the list, right? I wasn't eligible. So anyway, so I went to this one place. I got the referral. I went to go see the doctor, and he's like, "Okay, I understand. Let's do a blood test." So in my head, I'm thinking, "Okay, same routine." He's saying, "You're young, and testosterone's bad for you." Blah blah blah. So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Here we go again. So we do the blood test, and it's actually funny to say, I got the blood test results back, and I came in below normal range. Both total and free testosterone came below range. So my total testosterone was 221. If you'll remember, the baseline is 242. So I came up below. And when I saw that result, it was kind of bittersweet because, in a way, you feel like, wow, like, I am a mess. This is bad. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe someone will finally say, okay, we can help you, right? So luckily, it was the latter, where the doctor came in and said, look, you can benefit from testosterone. The only concern is fertility for you. So we kind of had a chat about it. But you know what? It was like music to my ears when he said, look, Nick, I'll prescribe you testosterone. This is what we're going to do. This is the game plan. And you don't understand how happy, and this was only a few weeks ago. You don't understand how happy I was to hear those words and to not hear you're on your own, or it's in your head, or here's some Viagra, here's some Cialis, here's some other pill that doesn't solve your problem. So yeah, I mean, it was a great feeling. And when I had told my wife, she was extremely happy as well. And I think we had been through a rough patch there, and we kind of patched things back together. And I think with this prescription and a doctor actually taking me seriously, it really kind of gave the relationship a 180. We had such renewed hope, and so confident that things are going to get better. And you know she knows that I have it myself, and having low testosterone will make somebody not be themselves. And it had knock-on effects of how I interacted with other people, friends, family, my wife, people at work, and it was not good. And I realized this that, hey, this is causing a lot of issues. I did find some great resources online and some great podcasts. And I was able to share those with my wife and say, look, listen to what these people are saying. Listen to this guy's experience. Listen to all the symptoms he's listing. Like those are all things that I'm going through right now. And I know you're not mad at me. I know you're mad at the situation that we're going through. But I want you to know this isn't just a below the belt thing. Like this affects a wide range of things in my life. And the knock on effect of that is I'm not being the person I was before. She's had this hope that if I'm able to fix the testosterone issue, that everything in everything will get better from in the bedroom, through our relationship, just everything will be better. And that's why we're so happy right now. As I mentioned, I did my first shot on the weekend. Obviously, it's going to take a few weeks to a few months to really kick in, but we have high hopes. I really hope this is going to get the job done. I really hope this is going to turn everything around. This problem has been going on for years, and I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like the last 5, 6 years, even though they were good, well, bad at times, but for the most part, they were good. They were only a shadow of what they should have been. And I'm just really looking forward to finally being able to be myself and to enjoy life the way I know I should be and the way I want to. So probably what I'll do over the next few weeks, as I experience changes and hopefully as things get better, I'll share those with you guys. Generally, what I'm looking for in terms of results is obviously the below the belt stuff, erection, desire, libido, all that good stuff. Looking for some improvement in the gym. I still go all the time. I go usually four times a week. I'm looking for some improvements there. And the other thing is, again, along with the gym, is body composition. I think, I was a really lean guy growing up, but over the last few years, it's been very hard to keep the fat off. Again, I might be like 15, 16% body fat now, which not terrible, but again, a lot worse than what I would like and what I've been used to. So I'm hoping that will get better as well. So I think over time I'll be able to get there, but fingers crossed. So I'll keep you guys updated the best I can. Hopefully I have good news to share with you guys next time. If you made it this long, thanks for listening. I know, I've never done anything like this before. Rambling a lot, might be repeating myself 1,000 times as I go, but hopefully it wasn't too crazy, too incoherent. But hopefully you guys got something out of it. Thanks for listening. And again, if you guys are going through stuff like this, trust me, I hear you. It's tough. It sucks. Again, now that I'm hopefully out of it, again, I'm like 1 foot out, but 1 foot still in because I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm pretty confident things will get better, but there's no guarantee. But the best advice I can give now that I can look back is just don't give up. There's a lot of times there where, I just threw up my hands and said, oh, well, I can't do it, or I tried and I just give up. And, I let months and months pass and before I try again. And it's just a waste of time. Just keep pushing as much as you can. Don't wait like I did. If I do end up getting better, the only disappointing thing is maybe I could have had that a little earlier. Maybe that could have happened a year or two earlier if I hadn't kind of given up or let my emotions get the best of me. I should have just stayed on track and stay motivated and say, okay, you know what? That doctor didn't work. Let's go to another one. Let's go to another one. So don't give up hope, guys. You, trust me, I've been crushed many times hearing we can't help you. But you only need to be told, I'll help you once. And when you do hear that, it's probably one of the best feelings you'll have in a long time. Might not be the best thing in your life, but again, it's pretty significant. it's a breath of fresh air when you've been used to hearing the opposite. So again, thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully this was okay for you to listen to. All the best and good luck. Bye.